your seatbelts on. Okay. Camry's always been a great car. It's the best-selling sedan in the United States, but it's always been kind of vanilla. You know, it's like, it's a car. It's a great car, 250,000-mile car, but you know, it's just nothing special. Well, they've decided to change that. You look at the styling on this; it's a really good-looking car. Look at the interior; I mean, it's really nice, and they've redesigned it from the ground up, stiffened the chassis, lowered the car 1.5 inches, widened the track, changed the suspension, tuned the shocks and springs to give it a sportier ride. Or sporty handling, and you'll see the ride isn't compromised at all. Standard equipment is a 203 horsepower 4-cylinder engine, and on the this level of trim, this is the high level of trim, you can get a V6, which is 301 horsepower, which is a lot for a car this size. It's a pretty quick car. 8-speed transmission, paddle shifters, standard equipment. We'll show you in a second. Traction control, skid control, and anti-lock braking, which is fairly standard across the industry. But also standard equipment is lane departure alert. Like if you're going to start changing your lane, go across the white line, it'll give you alert, and it'll actually turn the car back into the lane. Which I've got that on my vehicle that I drive, and it's pretty cool. It's got radar cruise control. You can set a speed, or you can set it to the guy ahead of you, so you're kind of cruising in traffic rather than having to go back and forth, back and forth.
What engine is this one?
This is the V6.
Okay.
This is the big one. All these cars have the V6 in.
Okay.
And it's pretty quick. I mean, that's a lot of horsepower for a
Yes,
car like
it's a lot of horsepower. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
It goes.
It feels really good, and that's what the tires spin.
Those anti-lock brakes.
Yep. Yeah, and that a lot of people hear that noise and freak out and take their foot off the brake. You got to push harder.
Right.
Because everybody's driven in the snow has felt it once in a while.
Yeah.
Now this is pretty cool here. This is perimeter scan, and you'll see when I turn the wheel, those yellow lines are telling us where we're going to go. This is an option. And I don't even look at the opening. I just look at the yellow lines. That tells me if we're going to make it or not. As long as the yellow lines don't touch anything, we're not going to hit anything.
Especially if you're say parallel parking or backup parking and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now in Chicago, we've got more movable bridges than any other city in the world. And we got parking garages, and you pull up and you're on the angle, and some guy always pulls 1.5 inches off your back bumper, and you're afraid you're going to roll back before you get your foot on the gas. Well, with this car, you just push on the pedal hard. It'll give you 3 seconds before it releases the brake. So you have 3 seconds to go to the gas. If you go in 2 seconds, it'll just go. That's pretty nice, especially where there's any little hills or anything. Okay, let's get this thing turned around.
That's awesome.
Now you see, we do that while maneuver, so you can see the car doesn't really lean and roll around too much. That's that sporty handling. But whenever you get sporty handling, you're always afraid you're going to get a rough ride. So they designed into the shocks a system where when you if you go and roll nice and smooth, it's stiff. But if you hit something like a pothole, it automatically softens the shock. So we'll go over our pretend potholes here and see. It's moving, but it's not that harsh, rattling your teeth deal.
Right.
Okay, now I'm just watching this, right? I don't even look at the circle. I just watch this to park. One of these days I'm running into a car that's sitting there because I'm not even looking. Okay. Now, you wonder how this works. Roll your window down. Stick your hand under the mirror and wiggle your fingers. Under. There's a camera there. There's a camera there. There's a camera in front and a camera in back. And somebody a lot smarter than me figured out a way to put it together with a computer, and that's a real vision. I mean, that's what you're looking at. You have a bird's eye view here. Stick your hand underneath there again. Right there. And this is really good. Like, you're a little older now. When you're little, kids are running around when you're going to pick your kid up, soccer practice, whatever, and you don't know if there's some kid behind you or in front of you. You just look. You just see. Which I think it's really sweet. Okay, roll your window up and see how quiet it is. They worked a lot on sound.
It's not okay.
Yeah, it's really quiet. Okay, also they've got pre-collision system on this where if it recognizes that there may be a collision, potentially, it'll tighten up the brakes. So when you do go to the brake, it's right there. If you don't push the brake hard enough, it'll push it harder. If you don't push it out, it'll push the brake. There's one more. Oh, it's like the lane departure. That's about it. That's all standard. This is an option.
And the blind spot monitoring?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They should have that camera be on all the time so you can see if someone's stealing your car.
Yeah, somebody asking you, and this will tell you if you're this is for parking. Yeah, somebody said that. Can you look at it on your iPhone? This shuts off at 6 miles an hour because you know you'd be watching it all the time because it just looks cool. But they've done a really good job with this car. It's a completely different animal now.
Yeah.
And it's my silver one's the silver one's my favorite. I love that thing. It's silver and
Is
black.
that the black top?
Yeah,
I
that thing
thought
is.
that was pretty
It's
cool.
just
That's
gorgeous.
awesome.
Red interior.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for coming.